Some coats are worn for fashion, some for warmth, and some are worn to survive. This is the story of a quiet 10-year-old girl named Nia and a substitute teacher named MS. Jennings, who refused to ignore what others had chosen not to see. What began as a seemingly ordinary day in room 5B at Meadow Ridge Elementary School would unfold into a haunting discovery. Not with screams, not with bruises, but with silence and a red coat zipped all the way to the chin. MS. Jennings had subbed at dozens of schools. She knew the routines and noisy mornings, the bursts of laughter, the chaos and energy of children. But room 5B felt different. It didn't feel quiet. It felt restrained, like a room holding its breath. And in the far back corner by the window sat Nia. Small, still. Her cocoa brown skin glowed in the morning light, but her posture was tight, frozen. She wore a thick red coat, zipped to the top, the hood pushed down to create a ridge behind her neck. It was late September. The air in the classroom was warm, the sun even warmer. Yet there she sat, wrapped in winter like it was the heart of January. Her sleeves drooped well past her hands, like mittens hanging empty. Her eyes stayed locked on the window. She didn't blink often. She didn't move. For 10 solid minutes, she was motionless. Most teachers would have dismissed it as shyness, maybe sensory sensitivity. But MS. Jennings noticed something that made her pause. A faint shimmer of sweat beaded along Nia's forehead. The child was overheating inside that coat. And yet, she refused to take it off. Throughout the morning, MS. Jennings kept a quiet watch. During reading time, Nia didn't flip a single page. At lunch, she stood stiff in line, arms crossed over her chest. Then came the whispers. "She smells again," someone muttered. Giggles. Wrinkled noses. The cruel ritual of elementary school, bullying quiet and sharp. But Nia didn't flinch. She didn't speak. She didn't cry. It was as if she had trained herself not to react. That coat, MS. Jennings realized, wasn't a garment. It was armor. A prison disguised in polyester. The next day, MS. Jennings was called back. The regular teacher, Mr. Shah, was still out sick. She arrived early, hoping to see Nia, needing to understand. 15 minutes after the bell, Nia entered the room. Same red coat. Same sweat on her brow. Same silence. The class dove into a math activity. Nia didn't open her workbook. MS. Jennings crouched beside her and quietly asked if she needed help. Nia shook her head. Her eyes stayed down. And then it happened. Nia stood up to sharpen her pencil. She took 2 steps, then collapsed. Gasps echoed. Students screamed. MS. Jennings rushed forward, calling her name. Nia. Her skin burned to the touch. Her lips were cracked dry. Her breathing came in short, rapid bursts. The nurse arrived with a wheelchair. As they laid her down, the zipper was slowly undone. A sharp, sour chemical smell filled the air. But what broke MS? Jennings was the sight underneath. Angry red welts covered Nia's arms. Some scabbed, others raw, layered like burns upon burns. The nurse asked gently, "Nia, sweetheart, who did this?" Half conscious, Nia whispered, "She sprays me to kill the demons." MS. Jennings' hand shook as she called 911. Paramedics arrived. Child Protective Services, CPS, was called. MS. Jennings gave her full statement. The next morning, she was summoned to the principal's office. Expecting updates, she braced herself. Instead, the principal informed her that CPS had closed the case. Why? Nia's mother claimed the injuries were from an accidental cleaning solution spill. Nia had confirmed the story when questioned. Of course she said that. MS. Jennings snapped, her voice cracking. She's terrified, but the school could do no more. For most, that might have been the end, but not for MS. Jennings. She couldn't sleep. Not with those burns in her mind. The smell. That trembling voice. Then she remembered the emergency contact form. A grandmother. Her name was Linda Walker, living in the neighboring county. MS. Jennings made the call. When she said Nia's name, the line went silent. Then Linda wept. She hadn't seen her granddaughter in months. Her daughter had blocked every attempt. Linda recounted visiting once and noticing a can of insect spray under the sink. No bugs, just the smell. Nia's toothbrush was stored inches away from the nozzle. She had reported it to CPS before. They dismissed her as senile. Linda sobbed over the phone. MS. Jennings wrote everything down. The next day, she returned to the school with a typed summary of the call, her detailed observations, notes from the nurse, and a plea. The district launched a second inquiry. This time, CPS couldn't look away. The paramedics submitted statements. The nurse provided photographs and logs. Within 48 hours, Nia was removed from her home. Investigators found multiple cans of roach spray. A handwritten chart on the fridge. Nia's behavior plus spray count. Entries like, yelled 2 sprays. Didn't listen 3 sprays. Her mother was arrested. Felony child cruelty. Nia was placed with her grandmother. When MS. Jennings heard, she finally cried. Tears of relief, of rage, but mostly gratitude, because Nia had survived. Weeks passed. Then, one day, a drawing appeared in MS. Jennings' mailbox. 2 stick figures beneath, a drawn sun. One wore a red coat. The other had blonde curls. The caption read, I can feel the air now. It doesn't hurt anymore. MS. Jennings pressed the paper to her chest. That red coat had once been Nia's shield. Her burden. Now it was no longer needed. Months later, MS. Jennings accepted a permanent teaching position at Meadowridge. She never forgot Nia. She noticed every child in long sleeves during warm months. Every flinch. Every silence. She asked more questions. Built more trust. Stayed curious. Sometimes, when no one was watching, she'd glance toward the lost and found. There were jackets, scarves, but never again a red coat like Nia's. Until one winter morning, the office buzzed. A visitor. It was Linda, and standing beside her, Nia. No coat, just a soft blue sweater. A calm gaze. A quiet smile. She handed MS. Jennings another drawing. Thank you for seeing me. MS. Jennings hugged her, tears brimming. She never needed thanks. But she would carry those words forever. Because sometimes the most dangerous wounds are hidden in plain sight. Sometimes the loudest cry for help is silence. It takes just one adult, one teacher, one moment of noticing. And in doing so, a life can be saved. Be the person who sees the coat and asks,